trust the timing. This can be hard in this day and age because we're so used to instant gratification and things just coming instantly, right? You can order something on your phone and it'll be there within the day sometimes, depending where you are in the world. Or you can pick up the phone and call someone and they'll be able to answer right away. These are luxuries that we didn't really used to have as people, and while it makes us efficient, it makes us almost lazy in the sense that we don't want to wait. We don't want to have the delayed gratification. It's with this that we need to learn that things do take time. Now, obviously, you can expedite it, you can put in more time towards something that you're working on, but there is also a limit to how many hours we have in a day. Things can, as I said, be expedited, move a bit quicker now, especially with AI around. Can make day-to-day things quicker, easier, but we need to not forget that the best things take time, and we have to enjoy the journey too. It's not all about results all the time, because this is where people get very slipped up and caught up in like a hedonic cycle trail, because they're not able to detach from the outcome. Because mainly when you get to the outcome, it's not going to be as you envision. You think you maybe have all these riches and you can do all these things, which yes, maybe true at some point, but you have to also fall in love with the process. And I think this is what the message is coming through about, because we can get caught up. We're so used to things happening so instantly that when we change to set our focus to be able to be enjoying the journey, which is more enjoyable, by the way, because what's better than showing up every day, doing the work, no matter the outcome? Like, even if nothing happens, that should be like beneficial for you as a person to be like, hey, look, I showed up every day, and even if nothing comes of it. But as humans, we're kind of conditioned to always think of the outcome. If I do this, then I'll get X. If I do this, then I'll get X, and then Y. But what about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S? You know, there's so many other letters on the way. And it does make it challenging in the world for us to be able to think this way, because we always think of the shiny object. We always think of the thing that we can attain and be like, yes, we worked so hard and we got here. And while those things are nice, it's actually not the point. It's not the point, because there's just so much more. There's so much more when you just release one thing you have in mind, because also you never know, this thing might not even exist by the time you get there. Our tastes can change, our preferences can change. So if you're always chasing a goal that is kind of like outside of you, can you see where the disconnect can happen? And then it's just even more heartbreaking when you maybe get to what you want, maybe even did more than what you had in mind. But if you haven't kind of enjoyed the process and you haven't taken it in, you haven't been showing up in the best way possible every day and being like proud of that, then when you get to the end, it's just like, oh, this is it. Even though it's everything you say you ever wanted, everything you say. And this is challenging, because it is good to have goals. It's good to have big goals that kind of scare you, that you can't even possibly fathom how it's going to come together. But this is just bringing about the awareness that we have to also enjoy the process. Time is of the essence, of course, right? But things take time, and we have to trust that with every step that we take, think of building a house. You have to do it brick by brick. I mean, I'm from the UK, so this is how we build houses, bricks. I know in North America it's a little bit different, but you can only, if you're one person, you can just kind of lay one brick at a time. Now, if you have a team around you, of course, this is different. You have more capacities to be able to do things, but brick by brick, you just lay them down. Lay them down, set them in stone, and then they just keep building on top of each other, which is so fun to see, because sometimes even just the first brick or the first row, once you have the foundation, say that's like your routine, you're showing up every day to do the work that you want to do, you're spending your time researching the things that you want to do, finding new ways to go about it. Once you have the foundation, maybe the first row of bricks, so much easier to build upon. So with time being of the essence, but also trusting the timing, you also have to put in the work, but each brick should be representation of you doing the thing. You're doing it. And it shouldn't feel terrible all the time. I think a lot of things have ups and downs, right? It's not all going to be smooth sailing. That's not realistic. It's not. If you think like, oh, but I done this, like everything should feel so easy and smooth. I don't think that's the point. In life, it kind of ebbs and flows, and we just have to adapt to it. It's just part of it. It's part of it. We can do things to streamline stuff. It's like with the foundation. You put the bricks down as the foundation. Only way is up, but it just makes it so much easier to have that stability. So that's things like, routines, showing up every day, putting the work in, putting it in. It sounds simple, but I think we as people can get caught up in chasing the next shiny thing, chasing the next shiny object, or like way to do thing, or just getting a little bit all over the place. But there's so much power in building blocks, brick by brick, the foundations, being repetitive, doing things over and over and over, even though it might be boring. This is also part of the point. As I said, it's not all going to be smooth sailing. It's not always going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Some days it's not going to feel like that, but you just have to keep going. You have to keep going. Consistency is key. This is a phrase for a reason. You have to be consistent in what you're trying to do, because this also signals that you're serious about it. You're not always trying to change things every second, because this also delays you getting started. It delays the start of the process of you doing whatever you need to do, and pushes how you're working on it, getting to that goal. It pushes it so far away, because say you're running in this direction, but then you're like, oh, what about here? And obviously this turn is going to make it a bit longer to go where you're going. And now this is sometimes is part of it, right? But we always have to remember what our goal is, what we're on track for. Gotta have this in mind, because there are many distractions in this life, many distractions. But timing is everything. We have to trust the timing, but we also have to be clear on how we get there and put the consistency in to do the thing. That's the drop.